Hello everybody and welcome back for another video. I'm channeling my inner Morticia Adams today with these sleeves, guys. Nobody is bigger than the program. What exactly is the program? Well, this particular video is for all of my ladies who have a bigger goal in mind. It's just bigger than themselves. I know for me that I've always dreamt of building generational wealth for my family, my future family, and just living a life of opulence and luxury and peace. And this was something that I've dreamt about since I was a little girl, and something that I didn't even consider when I was younger, or even in my early 20s, was how what you surround yourself with and who you date really impacts this exact dream. And not only so much about who you date, but who you surround yourself with, who is in your energetic field. And a lot of the times, for most of you, it could be a romantic partner. This video is for all of my lover girls, my empaths, and my ADHD queens who tend to get distracted or just are very forgetful of their value and their purpose. Because a lot of the times we can have goals, we can have dreams, we can have interest, but something new and shiny comes into our lives and it completely throws us off course. And I really want to help you realign and lock back in and focus on the bigger purpose, the program, because nobody is bigger than your program. Okay, ladies, let's talk about the dream closet. You know that moment when you see a bag and you think, I need that in my life? Well, that's every day for me, thanks to Vivrel. Vivrel is a luxury fashion and lifestyle membership that gives you access to a shared designer closet. And the best part is you get to treat it like it's your own closet. You borrow, swap, and keep pieces for as long as you'd like. No return dates and no stress. For example, I have been carrying the Mademoiselle Chanel small flat bag. This is actually a vintage bag. I picked this out on the website. I said, that needs to be mine. It's so gorgeous for the fall. It's two-toned. Like, look at it, guys. Just absolutely stunning. I have been wearing it for months now, like literal months. It has been such a huge staple in my closet recently, and it's all from Vivrel. So this is the kind of luxury that I like because I get to have it on my own terms. So the membership starts at $45 a month. And the tier that I personally recommend is the Classique tier, which is $119. Honestly, that is less than what I spend on most nights out, so it's totally worth it for me. So if you're ready to make your closet feel like a Paris runway, but you don't want to have to commit to anything long term, then click the link in my description box down below and use my code HaileyG50 to get 50% off your first month with Vivrel. This is your sign to stop window shopping and to actually just live the luxury lifestyle that you have been dreaming about for an affordable price. Thank you so much, Vivrel, for sponsoring today's video. Now get into your luxury experience today. Honey, you don't like him, you're just not busy enough. When we are transitioning, when we are transforming, when we are going from one era to the next, a lot of the times there's a lot of healing, there's a lot of weird feelings, there's a lot of solitude, and there can even be negative vibes over this transition. During moments of weakness, we as humans tend to really cling on to people who allow us to separate that feeling from our life, even if it's for a moment's notice. So even just hanging out with a situationship for an hour or two can take your mind off of your very busy, chaotic, and even just stressful life. And I understand how that can feel like a moment where you can detach, just be yourself, and even just enjoy someone's company. But what I want you guys to understand is pouring your energy into low vibrational things is removing you slowly from your own program. A lot of the times you are really just entertaining that energy because you have a moment to spare. And I want you to become a person who does not have a moment to spare. And that's not to say that you're so busy and you're working so hard that you can't even focus on men or bad friends or your annoying family. That's not what I mean. What I mean is filling your life with fulfilling moments where you are entertaining your hobbies, taking care of your wellness, doing certain things for your fitness, maybe trying to achieve certain goals. And it just does not fit into your life anymore to have someone there who is not adding value to your life. Now let's play devil's advocate here and say that maybe this person isn't terrible for you, but you know that they are not in alignment with your future self. This is where the work comes in. This is where the hard work comes in, where you realize I am not even bigger than my own program. And I can't be so enamored with a moment or a person or a feeling that it completely reroutes what I have set up mentally, emotionally, and spiritually for my future self, my future family, and my future legacy. Now, of course, there's always going to be someone who their entire mission and purpose in life is to be a girlfriend or a wife. That's wonderful. But for me, my purpose has always been greater than a title. And when I have really locked in that exact thought, all of the emotions that I feel temporarily when I'm with someone I like or when I'm around someone who maybe isn't good for me completely changes how I entertain those connections. Justifying meaningless connections because you are bored or in a bad place is just your way of outwardly saying that you are not capable of sitting with yourself and enjoying your solitude. And I get it. It's really difficult to admit that. A lot of these women are like, I'm a bad bitch, I don't care about him, and yeah. I get it. But this is the time to really test that theory. Pour into yourself. You don't like him, you don't need him, you're just bored. Become someone who is either not bored of your life or start to enjoy being bored. I love being bored. I am the queen of bored. I love to dilly-dally, I love to be bored, and I love to just sit around and do nothing. That is something that gives me so much life. And I'm not saying that in a lazy kind of way, but I'm saying that in after a days of hard work, after I've poured into myself, after I've done all the things on my checklist, I don't mind sitting in my own thoughts for an evening. Be the person who just doesn't mind sitting with yourself and being bored, and you're gonna see how little threshold you have for bullshit behavior. Now, I saw this incredible video the other day and it really resonated. And it was about detachment, and not just about detaching, but by staying gone. And it made me think that it's really easy to say, I'm blocking him, I'm removing him from my life, I'm not answering that right now, and just kind of creating like that bold behavior around removing negative spirits from your life. But what about staying gone? A lot of people do it as a form of punishment. They detach to punish themselves or to punish the other person. But what about looking at it as an act of self-love and as you saying to yourself, I need to stay gone for my program. The program is bigger than me. My life does not have any benefit being a part of this world. Staying gone is very difficult for women who choose to not ascend because you refuse to believe that the reason that you left is because this is not your person. This is not your thing. This is not what you want. You refuse to believe that. What you believe is that they're treating you poorly and they can change, or maybe in a few months everything will be better. But real ascension is realizing that you outgrew this chapter. And once you outgrew a chapter, whether it was healthy or not, it no longer aligns with your future self. So you need to really have the courage to ascend beyond this current chapter so that no matter how many times you revisit it, you know you've already read it. It just doesn't hit the same. A great thing that I would love to share is that even in my own journey to discovering myself and healing a lot of my inner wounds, when I was dealing with my situationship, I remember people saying like, one day you're just not gonna feel the same. And I just didn't believe that. Every time I saw him, my stomach would flutter and I would be excited, and he made me feel a certain type of way. And then after the disrespect, after I've removed myself, when I saw him again months later, it didn't hit the same. My feelings on this person did not change. I still really cared for this person, but the appeal, the romance, and even the desire to want this person completely was removed from my body. There is no part of me that wants to revisit that chapter. It's more so of acknowledging that I do care, acknowledging that that person was once important to me, but also realizing that I no longer desire it for my future, and that no matter how many times I try to rewrite history, it will never be right, because this is not what was meant for my program. Time does not heal all wounds, but what you do with the time does. Let yourself heal. And it's not linear. It's not something that happens quickly all the time. It sometimes takes a while. And then one day you realize, this no longer is serving me. This no longer is good for me, but you have to give yourself the time to do that. And that requires full detachment. Letting time be the reason that you eventually go back to someone is usually a very clear telltale sign of your emotional immaturity, because you believed that distance and time apart from something that was always misaligned was going to bring you closer to it. But in reality, what that says is either one of two things. You either are not capable of ascending beyond that point, or two, you don't want to. If that's the case, go back, be a part of that. But I always remind myself of that whenever I want to entertain something that I once really cared for. And keep in mind, there is always a reward for moving forward and ascending, even if that reward is just not having that person in your life anymore. Loving yourself is a lifelong spiritual practice, and it takes time, it takes energy, it takes hurt, it takes pain. And that is totally okay. Go through the motions, experience those very uncomfortable feelings, but don't let yourself forget exactly why you put yourself in this position in the first place. When things are greater than you no longer rely on temporary feelings to get you by. You learn to sit with yourself, to not necessarily enjoy this very negative chapter, but you learn to really take advantage of this time to grow, to heal, and to feel. And keep in mind that not all of the detachment that you experience in life was made by you, but sometimes it was made for you. A lot of the times, God will purposefully remove things from your life to teach you to move on. Because if you do not get back into alignment and to your greater purpose, you will notice everything in life feeling out of control and you will never enjoy any outcome. It's almost as if the obvious thing is to just start over. Listen, I am the most stingy, hard-headed person, and I like to make decisions for myself. And there have been plenty of times where God had to pretty much embarrass me and say, if you don't turn away from this, I will show you why you need to. And it has happened where I experienced something, I didn't want to walk away, I was really holding on, and then God removed it in a very embarrassing and hurtful way. When you feel that misalignment and you feel that discernment around that decision, to make it because it's for the greater good of your life. You need to ground yourself in a deeper purpose. When we are entertaining low vibrational energy, when we are in a long-term situationship, or maybe we're around very toxic family or friends, it becomes so easy to feel removed from your own program. You start to feel like it no longer is your life or your goal, and you almost feel like it's not possible. But that's only because you've been entertaining energy that has been beneath you the whole time. And when you're around energy that is not pure, not authentic, and not aligned, it's very easy to be forgetful of who you are and what mission you have. Recenter yourself and step away from the current familiar vibes. This is the only way you're going to be able to remind yourself of who you are and what you want to do. If you're constantly, every single weekend, going out, drinking with the same people, and it's like a cycle where Monday through Friday you work, Saturday and Sunday you get piss drunk. If every week goes by, it's very difficult to feel like your weekends could ever look any different. You're going to feel like you're completely out of control and that you have no ability to really change this chapter. But the truth is, all you need to do is step away. You ever see that picture of the matches where it's like a line of matches and all it took was for one to step away for it to stop burning? That is exactly what you need to do with your life. Step away so you could see this pattern stop. Whether it's the pattern of noticing that you're not being loved the way you deserve, or the pattern of you spending too much time and energy pouring into other people. A lot of you guys are parentified children. You have been so good at nurturing other people's problems and taking care of other people and not fully locking in on your own purpose and goals. But the only person that you have to blame at this point in your life is yourself. You need to take radical responsibility for your part in your own life. Not only is my program bigger than the people that I entertain, but it's bigger than the person I am today, okay? Who I am today is still not quite who I want to be long term. And that's how I know that nobody is safe. No one is safe when my program is bigger than myself. Because if somebody is in the way, I will remove you from it. You chose a path that was more comfortable, more chaotic, and usually a lot easier because the road less traveled is the harder road. It's the more difficult one where you have to face uncomfortable truths, heal your traumas, deal with meeting a lot of people who are not like you. And it just takes a lot of reassurance, surrendering, and being someone who believes that the beautiful thing that you want, you are going to get. Get to know yourself alone and in silence. This is a huge way to detach and get deeper into your purpose. And again, when you think about your program, think about your kids, your grandkids, and your future legacy. Whenever you do that, a lot of the people that you're entertaining right now just don't fit in that program. And if you can sit there and say, I just don't see it, it's just not going to happen, that's your answer. And it's not to say that we need to be better at discarding people, because I don't want this to sound like it's a transactional experience, but I want you to get better at choosing people. There was something that I heard that has resonated with me. me ever since. And it was that we as women have the right to pick, choose, and refuse. Get better at doing that so that you can start aligning with your purpose and your program. And it's really crucial that you improve your confidence around your outcomes in life. When you're someone who does not feel confidently about your own program, your own goals, you're just never going to go and get them because you're going to fall for any okey doke that gets sent your way. When something new and shiny, when something that's distracting, when something that is maybe just good enough comes your way, you settle for it. But if you know that you deserve the outcome that you believe that you should have, it will. That's actually how you get closer to your higher self. It's actually refusing all of the things that you once settled for. And it's always the people who you do not want their lives, or they've made a ton of mistakes, or they're just not living a happy life, that always are the ones that will tell you, you're not gonna get that. That's not something that you can have. They can't grasp that these things actually could happen for you because your aspirations and dreams are completely different. And there's nothing wrong with that. What you went to do is your vibe. What I'm gonna do is mine. Things that will truly help you improve your confidence and make it rock solid is maintaining your independence, going after your purpose and your passions, being someone who can validate yourself and see proof in your own validation by doing different things like hard tasks, or maybe you have a goal in mind that you're trying to achieve, or you want to start a challenge and you're able to bring it to completion. That brings confidence from within that is rock solid. So yes, the people who choose to do hard things usually get what they want out of life. I saw this picture of Amy Winehouse and it said like before she fell in love, during her love, and then after. And it just showed like how before she was so vibrant, she was so beautiful, and then during it was kind of like a romantic, but still kind of very And then there was like the latter end of the relationship where it was like she looked broken, and then the very end when it was all done, she looked terrible. And it really just proves that when you choose what is not right for you, it will ruin your life. You need to be a person who says, yes, this might feel good right now. This might be something that I enjoy at this moment, but how can I pour into myself and treat myself of better value to where I am able to recognize that this is not even remotely close to aligning with my program, aligning with my future self, aligning with the life that I deserve. So today, I really want you guys to consider this thought when you are still entertaining connections, ideas, and people that do not feel good to outwardly celebrate. So that being said, it's time to make some decisions. It's time to lock in, and it's time to detach from what is giving you current comfort and to align with what's giving you a deeper purpose. Listen, guys, every once in a while I meet a hot guy and he does it for me. But then I recognize when the patterns just are not aligning with mine, to let it go and to release it, because I do not want anything a part of my life that can destroy what I've built. And things can be taken from you just as quick as they were built in your life, if not even quicker. So if you took 10 years to build yourself up, it could take 2 to tear it down with the wrong energy in your life. Choose wisely. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone. Mwah.